Well, hey friends, my name is Reverend, and make sure the kids are in bed for this one, because according to r/Stunfisk, my channel is just too extreme, because since apparently tiny baby childs read that subreddit, you're not allowed to post videos with swear words in them, and I've been known to let slip a few hex and darnets here and there, and of course the constant torrent of racial slurs, but that just goes without saying. So that's a real tragedy. Like, I'm not going to be able to reap those highly desirable internet points, but in honor of the young baby childs, we're going to go ahead and peep this replay together, which features me as but a young buck. This is from super early X and Y. Like, so early that Genesect wasn't banned yet, apparently. This Genesect doesn't actually end up coming out at any point in this battle, which is regrettable, because Genesect is definitely the coolest looking Pokemon that I always forget exists, and I wish it was less broken so that I could actually see it ever. It's absolutely a Pokemon that little 7-year-old Reverend would have thought was the coolest shit he'd ever seen. But like, this battle is just one that I found when I was going through my like replay archive, and I thought it gave a pretty interesting snapshot of like how the meta was back then. The meta, of course, where we both have a Rotom Wash and Lando T on our team, but you know, war never changes. I'm going to go ahead and lead off with Dick Nose because I would have been able to set up Stealth Rocks against any Pokemon that he could have led with other than Rotom Wash, and getting those up ASAP is going to be really appreciated because Tornadus Therian was as much of a pain in the ass back then as he is now. He's going to go ahead and U-turn off of me into his Blissey, who's going to catch the Will-O-Wisp, which obviously doesn't matter, but you're going to notice that Alan Tudyk doesn't have any leftovers, because this was before Pokebank, and back in my day, we didn't have Pain Split. We had to use Chesto Resto, and we were damn pleased with it. I'm going to go ahead and Volt Switch out into me IRL, and then go for a knockoff. Like, I knew that he was probably going to go into his Tornadus Therian, but I couldn't have gone for an Ice Punch because I didn't want to give him a free switch into his Aegislash. Go ahead and rest, like, immediately with Alan Tudyk, just because I want to make sure that he can keep switching into this Tornadus, like, throughout the whole battle, because it's really annoying otherwise. I can go ahead and Volt Switch off of his Blissey out into me IRL, and then go for a Drain Punch, which was really dumb and reckless, and I'd get absolutely nothing from it because the Tornadus is just going to get wished back to full health. I just wanted to try to kill his Blissey as soon as possible, and I thought that maybe he would think that I was going to overpredict again. Go out into There Goes Tokyo, because I was hoping that I could catch an Air Slash and then try to set up with a Dragon Dance, but he is just going to go out into his Lucario and peep the testicular fortitude. I just straight up go for a Fire Punch. That was because, like, at the time, Mega Lucario was the scariest fucking Pokemon in the meta, and I would have infinitely preferred having There Goes Tokyo just straight up die than switching out and having him set up, and it ends up working out really well because I can scare him out with a Shadow Sneak at this point. He's going to go out into his Blissey. I go for a Sacred Sword. I could have gone for a substitute there, but the fact that he was using Blissey instead of Chansey meant that he was using, like, an attacking move, which almost certainly was Flamethrower, because otherwise it just gets hard-walled by Aegislash, and I didn't want to risk, like, letting him know that I had Substitute, and then just instantly having it get popped by a Flamethrower. He is just going to U-turn off of Alan Tudyk, go out into his Aegislash, off of which I am going to go ahead and Volt Switch out into my There Goes Tokyo, because, like, that was about 14 straight turns of just Volt Turn, because, you know, that's everyone's favorite strategy. It's so cool. And There Goes Tokyo is going to go down. I'm fine with that. He wasn't going to be able to set up on, like, a single Pokemon on this dude's team at this point, so I was fine with him dying if it gives me a free switch into Islander, which I take advantage of by going for a substitute, because, like, I never used King Shield Aegislash at this point because everyone just assumed you were going to go for King Shield every other turn, so you got free substitutes for days. I was also a big, stupid, dumb asshole that gave my Aegislash too many speed EVs, because I gave it enough speed to outrun, like, some popular Tyranitar set at the time, which meant that I was always faster than other Aegislashes, so even when I got the substitute right, I would never end up killing them, because I would, like, Shadow Ball them when they were in shield form, but I end up going out into Dick Nose to catch a Shadow Sneak, because he knew that I was faster than him, so he had to go for it. He's gonna go out into his Landorus Therian because, like, Landorus Therian walling himself is just, like, a universal constant, and he goes ahead and goes back into Aegislash because he knew I wasn't going to go for Earthquake at that point, and since this was before Pokebank, Landorus probably couldn't learn Knockoff, so he didn't really have to be worried about that. And, oh, my Aegislash game is so fucking raw. I just go for the straight-up Shadow Ball at this point, because I knew that he's probably going to expect me to try to set up another substitute. If he had, like, King Shielded that, I would have had to have switched out, because I didn't have my own King Shield to be able to deal with his Shadow Sneak, so that play is, like, 90% of the reason I wanted to commentate this battle, because I'm so good. I'm so good! I won, like, 3 coin flips in a row a year ago. AMA. Me IRL is going to come out, juke the Hydro Pump, and at this point, he is pretty much just going to bring us home. Like, I go for an Ice Punch, finally call the switch into his Tornadus Therian right, and just go ahead and nuke that. He is going to U-turn off of me. I knew that he wasn't just going to stay in to take an Ice Punch, so I'm going to go ahead and knock off the Rotom Wash on the switch, and then finish it off with a Drain Punch at this point, and play through the pain of that Hydro Pump, because Assault Vest Conkeldurr was and is a fucking monster. Lucario comes out. I didn't need to switch out here, but I was like, Miarel might as well survive this battle, because he's done enough to earn Daddy's love. Islander, gonna take the Flash Cannon, and since Aegislash is immune to, like, the 14 different priority moves that Mega Lucario could learn, I am just going to go ahead and finish it off with a Shadow Sneak, and then he is going to go ahead and quit. So yeah, it ends up being a 5-0. I don't usually like commentating battles like that, but I feel like this one was a lot closer than the 5-0 would imply. At least up until the end when I was able to, like, out-grime his Aegislash, because that's pretty much what clinched me the victory. And I mean, it was a good kind of grime. It was a really clutch level of grimitude. Like, Aegislash is a Pokemon that I sort of miss using. Like, it's fun to use. You always feel like you worthed it really hard when you win, like, the Mind Game War, but, like, you never actually worthed it because you're never in danger of anything bad happening to you. Because, like, with Bisharp, it feels really good when, like, every turn is a 50-50. Like, oh, do I Sucker Punch or do I Pursuit? And when you get it right, you feel amazing, because, like, when you get it wrong, you just die, usually, because Bisharp is not a sturdy Pokemon at all. But, like, Aegislash is the sturdiest fucking Pokemon ever, because its defenses are insane, and it resists everything, so even when you get it wrong, you have the opportunity to get it wrong like 5 more times, because it's not like you're ever actually going to die. So yeah, it's a total Cancermon. It's also really ugly. It's incredibly ugly. It's really, really dumb looking Pokemon. And I'm really shallow, so like that's really all I care about at the end of the day.